Hey, hi Internet. Welcome to another little episode of Kai Plays. This time we are playing a free demo of a free game that is being developed by a friend of mine is actually the artist, and that's why I am jumping in and making this little video just to help sell the game. I'm not gonna, lie about that. So this is the demo. It's in alpha, pre-alpha, very early, but we've got some stuff to play around with, so we've got to be a little bit forgiving of any things that need a little bit of polish, a little bit of working on. The devs are very open to bug reports, any errors that you spot, let them know, feedback. They've got a nice little Tumblr going, they've got a blog and everything for people to give them feedback, and it's a cute dating game where you meet monsters. Yep. Still, 'tis the season to be spooky. This is also is a visual novel. It's gonna be heavy on the text, so it's gonna be a lot of reading for me, a lot of listening to my voice, and pretty much nothing else for you. So hey, if you wanna treat this as more of a podcast and occasionally flick back over to check out the awesome artwork, that is cool by me. Alright, here we go. Hello, and thank you for trying out the demo of Meeting in the Flesh! Exclamation mark. This game is in pre-alpha. That means it's still in development and all content is still being produced and tweaked. For that reason, there is no music or SFX at this time. I've noticed that. But there will be in the final build of the game. Yay! None of the artwork or text is in an incomplete state, but it may not be final or fully representative of the complete game. Please report any bugs, typos, visual aberrations, or error codes to us through our dev blog, meetingintheflesh.tumblr.com, or through the other contact methods listed there, and we will do our absolute best to fix them. Thank you very much, and we hope you enjoy the demo. Cool, okay. What we got? After years of waking up at the same time every day, I've grown far too accustomed to it. I'm awake even before my alarm beetle goes off. Right, okay. 9 o'clock for the beetle. Beetle's good at telling time? Okay. The air outside must still be cold from the rain last night. The room feels a little chilly, and there's a strong compulsion to stay curled up in my blanket. My bed is enticingly warm, after all. So I decide to remain still until it's absolutely necessary for me to rise. Keeping my eyes closed, I consider what to wear today. Weather today is supposed to be cloudy. Wearing an extra cloak might not be a bad idea. Just one of the lighter ones. Double cloak. Action. The alarm beetle starts chirping, and I lay a hand on it even before its first trill is over, gently silencing it. What a lovely bedroom you see there in the background. Crack my eyes open to squint at the light gently filtering into my room. Get up for one more minute. You know what? We woke up before the alarm was even done. We better get up. I better get up. Alright. Let's get going. Vil, I guess our name is. I crawl out of bed and begin my usual morning routine. It's become such deeply ingrained habit that I hardly need to think about what I'm doing. Splash my face with water first and wipe off any pus that's accumulated overnight. Yay! We're a licker. We're a keeper, we are. Monster dating sim for monsters. Howling my face off, I return to open the windows and air out the place. I'm tripping over my words already. This is not a good sign. Okay. The atmosphere outside is crisp from last night's rain. The ground's still a little moist, and there's a pleasant miasma that stings at the nose. Pleasant miasma, that's a change. Poking my head out the window, I take a few deep breaths to chase off the last tendrils of sleep before withdrawing back inside and making my bed. Even monsters, they have their routines. I find my way to my table to retrieve my usual breakfast, a block of salt and a cup of water. Some people go without eating in the morning, or only drink water, but I've found it hard to last the morning without some salt. The crystals crunch between my teeth as I look for a cloak of appropriate thickness. I'm not going to comment on your dietary habits, ma'am. The cloak I'm looking for turns out to be abandoned in a corner, and I swallow my mouthful of salt as I pull it on. Salt burns down the full length of my throat, and I wash it down with water. That done, I smooth my hands down the front of my cloak to brush off any stray salt crystals, and to make sure there aren't any unsightly wrinkles. I want to look presentable. Even if I'm just a delivery agent, I still want to look good for my clients. Maybe I should turn off the not safe for work. Oh well. My entire routine doesn't take more than 15 minutes. I've streamlined it well over the years. I glance outside as I close my window. The streets outside are still mostly quiet with only a few people bustling about. The owner of the corner store is quietly sweeping the streets, the rhythmic scratch of brush bristles against the damp dirt echoing down the block. A few crows linger on a nearby roof, muttering to themselves. They seem a bit more excited than usual. My room falls quiet when I close the window. As I leave, I lock the door and jostle it 1, 2, 3 times to make sure it's secure. Then I head down the street. Okay. The cars bellow at me when I walk past them, and I glance up to give them a smile. I remember people's faces. It's best to stay on their good side if possible. This is good life advice for everyone, okay? Do not mess with crows. They will remember you for the rest of your life. They will teach their children and their children's children to fuck you up if you mess with them. Okay. Past them, the sky is a deeper green than it usually is. I squint and shield my eyes as I look up at the suns. That's right. I've forgotten. The eclipse is in 2 days. Suns. This was plural. So it is. Yeah. This is a lovely, lovely monster town. Yeah. Wow. Look at that park, honey shop, overlook. Okay. The primary sun looms largest overhead, but its smaller brothers don't lag far behind, the three forming a lopsided triangle. The moon lingers lower down, closer to the horizon, like a pale paper cutout laid against the sky. It's normal for them to scatter like this. There we go, there's our first thing to report to the devs. They may have already heard from helpful alpha plays by the time this goes up. There you go. But in 2 days, for just a few moments, they'll all align. The 3 suns all overlapping in one point in the sky, blocked from our view by the moon. An absolute solar eclipse. Oh, hey, Curry! Oh, hey! Whoa! That's what you want walking down the street at you in the morning? Excited about the eclipse coming up? I give a slight jump when a voice chirps from right behind me. I roll around so quickly I almost end up entangled in my own cloak. Well, didn't mean to scare you there. Sorry about that. No, it's alright. I was just thinking about things. One of my neighbors, Agri, from just down the block. She looks more jittery than usual, a string of saliva dribbling down from her mandibles as she also casts her gaze up towards the sky. Oh, it's so exciting, isn't it? Just 2 more days and it will be the eclipse. Are you thinking of doing anything special on that day, sweetie? I smile and shake my head. Okay. Nothing in particular. I'm just looking forward to seeing it. Oh, that's also fine. But you should think hard to make sure there's nothing special you'd like to do on that day. Well, an absolute solar eclipse only occurs once every century or so. A rare event. Squint up at the sky. Perhaps because of that, people view it as an auspicious phenomenon. It's said that if you make an important life decision or attempt something new on the day of an absolute solar eclipse, the results are more likely to be favorable. I never believed in such superstitions, but I know most of the city is looking forward to the eclipse. A lot of people propose to loved ones, explore new areas, or change their jobs on eclipse day. As a result, I've heard it's considered something of a headache for the community organizers who need to deal with the chaos. Still, there's an undeniable air of excitement building in the air. Regardless of my own beliefs, I don't see any reason to squelch anyone else's excitement. Look back to my neighbor. Do you have any plans for Eclipse Day, Angry? Oh, I do! She gives an excited chirp, clasping her hands together. I'm going to visit my dear friend across town. We had a rather bad fight years ago, and haven't spoken since. Well, we agreed to meet on Eclipse Day to talk things out. I'm sure we'll be able to rekindle our friendship. Her genuine excitement is heartwarming. Can't help smiling as I give a nod. That sounds wonderful. I hope it goes well. Thank you, dear. Okay. Oh, but I shouldn't keep you for too long. You're on your way to work, aren't you? I nod again. It's all right. I always head out early. It was nice hearing about your plans. Well, good luck on your work. And do think about something to do for Eclipse Day. It would be such a shame to let the opportunity pass by you. I give her a small wave as I turn to leave, and she cheerily returns the gesture. Once I turn the corner, I speed up into a light gallop. Despite what I told her, I hurry a little. I like getting places a little earlier than necessary. It's a good thing I didn't stay in bed, huh? Morning, boss. The air in the salt processing plant stings at the nose, burning at the lungs a little with each breath, and I try not to inhale too deeply. Full-time workers here usually wear masks unless they happen to have well-developed nasal filters. Since I'm usually in and out of here quickly, I don't bother with masks. Where's your mask? My boss is pretty strict, though. It's alright, boss. I'll be out of here pretty quick. No, wear your mask. You'll need to wait a few moments. He thrusts the mask into my hands before I can stop him, and turns away to a nearby table piled high with packages. I give a slightly exasperated sigh. Ugh. How many times have we had this exact same exchange before? Although it's a good indicator of how much the boss cares for his workers, I guess. Put on the mask. Don't make him mad. Might as well just put on the mask. It's a little uncomfortable, especially where the filter brushes against the raw sections of my face. It does immediately make breathing easier. I don't want it. As I adjust the mask strings, I take a cursory glance around the factory. It's a familiar sight, but its internal workings are always fascinating to watch. The chute at the far end of the room belches out spurts of salt crystals, spilling them into a huge vat. The steady hum of grinding and crunching sometimes sweeps through the chute, like the sounds of many small bones being chewed up. On the other side of that chute is the machine that processes the raw salt, breaking up any larger rocks into these smaller crystals. The ground up salt needs to be processed further, though. The grinding process doesn't get rid of any insects, rocks, or hair clumps that might be present in the raw salt rocks. Might there be hair clumps? Workers carry huge buckets of this unprocessed salt to smaller vats that dot the cavernous room. These vats are constantly stirred with long poles, pressing the salt crystals through filters that will catch any unwanted material. The filters quickly clog up with hair and insect wings and need to be swapped out frequently. It's Monster Town. I'm sure it's fine. And all the monsters eat salt, or a lot of them. One vat has a worker carefully adding an enormous bucket of flavoring to it. The scent of honey comes wafting through the air, and I inhale deeply. The sweet slick of honey contrasts beautifully to the familiar crisp sting of salt. Honey salt must be delicious. Maybe I'll get to splurge on it someday. In order to do that, I need to work. What's my quota look like today? My voice comes out a little muffled past the mask. A little more than usual. I step to the table to help the boss load packages into a cloth bundle. Each package is a block of salt wrapped tight in a piece of fabric. The fabric protects the salt from any moisture while it's in transit, and also catches any pieces that might crumble off. Most bundles are wrapped in cheap, tan fabric. Those are packages of normal salt. But there are a few packages wrapped in red or yellow cloth, and even fewer wrapped in white cloth. The white ones are mercury, right? Boss grunts in the affirmative. Mercury salt is such a rare treat that I don't deliver it often. That looks like more honey and punishment salt than usual, too. People getting excited about the eclipse, treating themselves. Right, of course. The boss counts the packages one last time before tying the bundle shut and handing it over to me. There's a rustle of fabric and the crackle of loose salt crystals bumping into each other with each movement, the package weighing heavily in my hands. I tie the fabric tight over one shoulder so the bundle won't come loose or jostle around too much while I'm running. And here's the route. He hands me a scrap of paper with just a few notes jotted on it. I've long since memorized my route, and the paper only notes any exceptions. Who doesn't need salt today? Who's getting special salt instead of the usual? Who's getting more packages than normal? Usually, I don't even need this cheat sheet. There are a lot of exceptions today. It really does seem like everyone's changing things up in preparation for the eclipse. All the more reason to avoid making mistakes. I'd hate to deliver people the wrong salt and put a damper on the mood. Got it. Pocketing the note, I give the bundle one last tug with my hand to make sure it's in place before turning towards the door. Right before I push the door open, I remember to take my mask and hand it back to the boss. He gives a snort as he takes it back, waving a hand to shoo me out and on my way. As the heavy door lumbers shut, I hear him call it gruffly, "Take care." Aw, look at boss. Just a tiny sliver of the plant's interior is visible past the closing door. I give him a wave of the hand before turning back towards the street. All right, time to begin my route. I've been delivering salt for several years now, though I was uncertain when an acquaintance first suggested the job to me. I've really warmed up to it since then. The workload is consistent and predictable. My boss is nice, if a little gruff, and the neighborhoods I deliver to are full of friendly people. Hey, starting your route for today? Yep, have a good morning. You too. My hind claws dig a little into the ground. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. We just get these little snippets in the text just suggesting you don't have like a avatar or anything, so it's all up to your imagination what the player character looks like, and that's great. I'm really enjoying the writing so far as well, just in general. My hindclaws dig a little into the ground, kicking up small clumps of dirt with each step. I quickly fall into a comfortable, galloping gait as I take a hard left outside the salt processing plant and start heading down the street. Huge slabs of buildings loom overhead on both sides. This block doesn't have many residences, it's mostly factories. I pass by those quickly. No deliveries to make just yet. I do have one delivery to make at the corner up ahead. The building at the very end of the block is smaller, its outer walls off-white instead of a murky beige. It's not very tall either, but it does have an awesome structure sprouting from its top. A giant tower clawing up towards the sky, made of bone and coated with smooth flesh. Smooth flesh. An enormous pair of antennae protrude from the tip of the tower, their chitinous shells gleaming faintly in the sunlight. They whip back and forth at random intervals, as if raking through the air. Their numerous eyeballs at the antennae's base also blink frequently, their irises swiveling about to survey their surroundings. One of them rolls around to look me over when I approach, and I give it a small wave. Hi, building. The tower entrance to the building has a small sign carved into it. Oh, the front entrance. I read the tower entrance? The sign reads Community Overlook Center. I open the door and enter. Oh, lovely? Yeah, the office's interior is much cozier. The air clean and warm. Cozier is the word? Cozier. Yeah, cozy. This is a cozy office. Yeah, that's it. Hi. That's fine. You got a little blood in your filing cabinet over there, I see. Awesome. There are a few desks littered with papers, workers busily reading over their contents and filling out other forms. This place always looks busy when I come by. Never hectic, though. Despite the steady bustle of productivity, things always seem in control. Not that I know these workers very well. I do wave to a vaguely familiar face, but head straight to the far corner where the tower control pod sits. Oh, that must be Buddy there. Pod. Yep, yeah. The pod's nerves crawl up the walls like a giant spider web, thick cables of flesh burrowing into the smooth rock surface. The pod itself is a giant, oblong shape, coated in flesh and pulsing gently. The eyeballs embedded in its surface flicker about more languidly, a few of them fixing on me as I approach, though they close wetly after a few moments of staring. They probably don't want to get squished when the pod opens. There's a loud squelch of fluid slick flesh when the pod splits open at the center, its two hulls neatly sliding apart like a beetle's carapace. A wall of hot, damp air bursts outward as the pod opens. Okay, are we? Okay. The interior of the pod is oozing with fluid, drips of it spilling out to dot the floor. A thick coating of it obscures the shape of the person sitting inside until he sits up and stretches his arms. Fluid comes sloughing off in sheets, spilling back into the pod's interior as he rises to his feet. Sloughing off. Sloughing off or sloughing off? I mean, it's slough and it's the place and slough otherwise, so fine. Fluid comes sloughing off, I think? Oh god. Never mind. There's two wet plops of suction as he detaches the pod's nerve cables attached to his temples. Hi, Yeastle. Never mind pronunciation. Yeastle towers over me when he straightens up to his full height, the bones of his feet clicking gracefully on the floor when he steps out of the pod. Hi! Morning, Bill. He always talks gently, his voice low. It's a little hard making out what he's saying if the office is ever really busy, but it does make him sound very reassuring, especially when he smiles a little. Yes, I can see how he's a very reassuring person to talk to. Diligent as ever, I see. Yeastle leads the way to a table nearby. It's far enough from the pod that there isn't any danger of fluid splashback, which is good. Salt doesn't hold up well to anything wet. I have a lot of salt to drop off here. My bundle's heavy from the day's worth of salt. I'm looking forward to lightening it significantly. I start undoing the fabric knot to put the bundle down on the table. How are things looking today? He gives a small sigh at that, just a warm puff of air that escapes past chitinous lips. I haven't spotted any real troublemakers, but there's certainly a buzz in the air. There does seem to be a little crowd congregating just north of here, so I might have to send someone to check it out later. Hopefully it's just a friendly gathering, so I can leave it be. I hate to have to get anyone in trouble just before the eclipse. Suggest action, nod sympathetically, agree with leniency. Nod sympathetically. I don't understand Yeastle's job, so all I can do is offer sympathy. I kind of do understand it, but I don't want to suggest anything when I'm just a delivery guy, like. He knows what he's doing. It does sound like the situation could go either way. Hopefully it won't cause too much trouble for you, no matter the outcome. Thanks, Phil. It should be alright. I'll just keep a few eyes on them for a while. Eustace's job seems busy at the best of times, and I can imagine it only grows more difficult during times of excitement, like around the eclipse. There aren't very many people who can handle the pressure of being the town's overlook, especially since the overlook pod is apparently a strain to operate. But Yeastel's been loved by everyone since he took the job. Highly attentive and quick to respond, he's been key in maintaining the town's peace. Because he's able to spot troublemakers so quickly and send officials to stop them before too much damage is done, he's done a lot to discourage crime. That, on top of being an all-around nice guy. The fabric finally comes undone, and I settle it on the table before digging through my pocket for the note. Alright, it says here that you need 24 packets of salt today, correct? Correct. 24 of them. He still doesn't eat the 24 packets of salt for himself, of course. As the community overlook, he's also in charge of keeping an eye out for people who are ill, or injured, or have fallen on hard times. Anyone who might have difficulty procuring their own salt. These 24 packets will be distributed to such people. That's a little more than usual, right? Is the eclipse causing any trouble? I lay out the salt. I lay out the salt packets in stacks of 4. In a sense. He still gives a slightly sheepish laugh. It's not trouble, but I wanted to ensure that people aren't struggling for salt during a time as joyous as the eclipse. I'll be giving out a little extra to people who are having a hard time. My heart warms with admiration. That's really nice of you. I'm sure they'll really appreciate it. 6 stacks of 4, 24 packets of salt lay neatly on the table, and I make sure Eustace's given it an approving nod before tying my bundle back over my shoulder. Speaking of the eclipse, do you have any plans? Everyone's so excited about the eclipse. I shake my head. Not really. I might go out to watch it, I guess. He still laughs, gently. He has a raspy laugh, in contrast to his lilting voice. You sound awfully unimpressed by the eclipse. I guess I'm pretty satisfied with where I am right now. I know the eclipse is supposed to be good luck if you're making big decisions, but I don't have any decisions to make. I shift the bundle on my shoulder and it comes out like a shrug. Maybe if I try taking a different route on my delivery that day, I'll find a shortcut. That would be nice. It would make your life a little easier, I suppose. Do you have any plans? There's a pause. He still looks thoughtful, a finger tapping at his chin before his lips curve in a smile. I might. I'm still deciding. But you know, Vil. He still reaches out to touch my shoulder. Despite the hard bones of his fingers, the gesture is soft and comforting, squeezing just briefly before giving a tender pat and then pulling away. The eclipse really is a special time. Not just because of the eclipse itself, but because everyone is so excited and happy. I don't think it would be a bad idea to take advantage of that unique energy in the air. I give a small smile. Alright, alright. I'll give it some thought. He hitting on you, guys. Never mind. He still sees me off. Is it alright for you to leave your pod for so long? It's alright for a few minutes. Taking short breaks helps keep my mind clear. Don't work yourself too hard. Even if everyone's depending on you, you shouldn't run yourself ragged. Thanks. You too. I grin. Don't worry. You helped me a lot by taking so much soul off my hands. My rout's always easier after I visited you. He still raps out a laugh. Rasps out a laugh. Why rap? Raps out a laugh. Ha ha. I'm not gonna do it either. Well, well, I'm glad I could be of help to you, though I should be the one thanking you for your work all the time. Alright, I'll see you later, Hazel. Take care, Phil. He still waves as I start off at a light jog. I wave back. The overlook tower is docile without him in the cockpit, the towering antennae and mound of flesh just barely quivering. It's strange to see it so calm, which says a lot about how much I've grown used to Gustel's constant presence, keeping an eye on the city. He's a good guy. I hope he gets a day off sometime. He could probably use it. It only takes me a few paces to hit my stride, my posture lowering as I transition into my usual gallop. Am I a centaur? No, claws. Some kind of With that big delivery out of the way, the rest of the route is smaller deliveries. No problem. Here you go. Gurgry. Gurgry? Gurgry. Thanks. Quick as ever, aren't you? Just trying to be on time. Have a nice day. You too, Phil. Most deliveries go quickly. Just one or two salt packets to drop off along with a brief greeting. For people who aren't at home, I have to drop their salt into the usual delivery box out in front of their door. It's nicer doing personal deliveries as I like saying a brief hello to my clients. It can't be helped. Everyone has things to do. Lobu. Hi, Lobu. Thanks, Phil. Honey salt, huh? Planning on doing something special for the eclipse? Yep, thinking of throwing a bit of a party. Glad I could get your Glad I could get you your salt safely, then. I appreciate it. You'll be careful on your route now, you hear? Will do. Everyone seems happy. It's nice. It's a nice day. Oh, we're in the woods. Okay. Or the park. There we go. My next delivery is a few blocks away, but I can cut through the park. The ground's a little wetter here, the dirt solid beneath my feet instead of kicking up into little puffs. My clothes dig small grooves with each step, no doubt leaving a little line of tick marks to signal where I've been. I'll probably be trampled flat during the day, only to repeat the next day. The paths in the park are flanked by trees, their gnarled branches reaching haphazardly up and outwards, as if they're also looking forward to the eclipse. Small insects lay nestled in the bark, their wings shimmering like water droplets each time they flit around. A few of them chitter at each other, set to the backdrop of crows shouting at each other. Somewhere further away, there's the quiet drone of some sort of factory belching long streamers of smoke. It's nice here. The atmosphere is great. I really like getting to cut through the park. I'm so distracted that I don't hear the sound of footsteps approaching. rapidly. Bill! Oh God. Hi! Hi, wolf guy! A boisterous pillar of fur and energy comes bursting out of the foliage directly to my right. I jump almost 2 feet in the air. Hey, Bill! Bratton stinks of sweat and dirt. His fur is matted dark in spots plastered out in strange directions with dried fluids, and there's a glob of something fleshy stuck to his jaw. Hey, Bratton! Been out all night? Yeah, just as I suspected. We were exploring out westward since we smelled a lot of salt. Haven't found anything yet, though. I'm sure you guys. I'm sure you'll find it soon. You guys are really good at your job. Bran beams at me, tail wagging side to side and knocking around some innocent saplings' branches. Brattan works as a salt scout. Salt scouts search the flesh fields outside the city in search of raw salt pools. I don't want to see this, but I do want to see the flesh fields, but I don't. Oh, that's fantastic. These pools are where we harvest the raw salt for processing at the plant and distributing out to people. An important job, in other words. Salt scouts depend on their sense of smell or sensitivity to changes in the air to seek out the signature sting of salt. So apparently many of them don't mind working during the night when visibility is poor. It's not unusual to see a salt scout heading home in the morning, dirty from a long night of exploring. Anyway, even after a night of what must have been exhausting work, Brattan talks in a boisterous growl. I thought I smelled you with salt, so I figured I'd catch you now. If I pick up my salt from you here, it'll make your route a little easier, right? A smile tugs at my face. Brattan looks terribly proud of this innovative thought. Say it helps a lot. Say it's a good thing you didn't miss each other. Say you wouldn't want Brattan to wear himself out. Okay, but he's really happy with himself for it, so I should give him positive reinforcement. There's no way I can squelch that sort of enthusiasm. Thanks, it helps a lot. Not really. My route takes me past Bratton's house anyway, but I won't tell him that. Bratton gives a wide smile, showing off every single one of his sharp teeth. No problem. It's awfully endearing. Well, let me check what your delivery for today is. Just the usual for me. He pipes up before I can double check my notes, so I nod as I shift my bundle. I notice I shift the bundle on my shoulder to pull out his usual delivery. 2 packs of regular salt. Bratton tends to eat a bit more than average. Understandable with how much time he spends moving around. By the way, he sounds excited. I bet he's going to talk about the eclipse. Do you have any plans for the eclipse? The swinging of his tail has grown ferocious, batting a branch aside with enough gusto to snap it in half. Not really. Everyone seems so excited for the eclipse, which I suppose is the normal reaction. It's probably weirder that I'm more laid back about it, but that's just my nature. Besides, this makes me happy enough just seeing other people being so excited. Their feelings are infectious. Aw, really? Come on, you should live a little. Bratton's enormous paw claps on my back, making me stumble forward a step. 1 or 2 salt packets spill from my bundle, but he catches them before they hit the ground. Whoops! Sorry about that. It's alright. I put those packets away and managed to extract 2 packets of regular salt in the process. Here you go, the usual for you. Thanks, Bill. For a moment, Bratton sounds like he's about to add something, but stops himself. Oh, his face. Look at his face. He's a little blep. Anyway, I don't prod, just readjusting my bundle. Sure enough, he shifts his weight from one foot to the other for a few moments in a nervous fidget before speaking up again. Hey, you should really consider doing something for the eclipse. Well, it's not that I'm against doing anything, but I guess I just don't have any plans. So you'd be up for doing something adventurous. Bratton blurts that out loudly enough to startle off a crow overhead. I can't help being curious. Maybe? Cool! There's a pause before he hurries to add, not that I have anything planned or anything, I was just asking. But you never know what might come up, is what I'm saying. I have to fight back a grin. Bratton isn't good at being subtle. I guess you're right. Knowing Bratton, maybe he'll teach me about some hidden location to view the eclipse from. He knows this area like the back of his hand thanks to his job. The shortcut through the park is also something he taught me about. So I'd actually be pretty happy if he taught me about a strange new location to visit during the eclipse. Would be a nice change of pace. Anyway, I'll let you get back to your job. Bratton's stifling a yawn as he says that. Even his endless energy must be running low after working all night. Sure, you should go get some rest. Will do. There's no warning before Bratton leans in to lick my face, his tongue dragging all the way up from my chin to my brow and leaving a sticky trail of drool, and it's like a very moist sign of affection. Do good on your job, and I'll see you tomorrow. And with that, Bratton's on his way. I wave as Bratton makes his loud exit, crashing his way through some defenseless bushes and leaving a trail of ground in his wake. He waves back as he turns the corner and around a prickly bush up ahead, then vanishes from view. It's only then that I raise a hand to my face, considering wiping away the damp tracks lingering on my face. I end up just leaving it be. It's not a big deal, after all, and my face gets chapped from running against the wind all day. Sheen of spit soothes the raw skin a little bit. Sure, fine, that's fine. We'll just walk around with werewolf drool on our face. Still good. Oh, werewolf, probably just wolfman. So after one last check of my bundle to make sure it's secure, I turn my attention back to the path through the park. Time to get back to work. Okay. Here you go. Thanks, Bill. You're always right on time. I really appreciate it. It's nice when getting to get my salt directly from you instead of my box, you know? I understand. I'm glad I could get it to you, too. You're such a good kid. You take care, alright? Alright. Relan will do, sir. The route grows easier towards the end of the day as my bundle grows even lighter. Or ever lighter. I have to stop to tie it tighter over my shoulder, making sure the excess fabric doesn't billow and flap around too much as I run. Deliveries go smoothly. Everyone seems to be in a pretty good mood, and one client gives me a cup of water to keep me going. Well, I don't need the water. It's still a nice energy boost, and I thank her for it before continuing on my way. People are really nice in this town full of monsters. They really are. One block has 5 houses in a row that need deliveries. One house is occupied, and I get to hand the salt to my client directly. The other 4 are empty, so I leave the salt in their boxes. Maybe they're off at work, or maybe they're making preparations for the eclipse. Hopefully I can say hi to them tomorrow, at least. That block done, I trot to the end of the street to the corner. But the sound of screaming catches my attention. Looking up, I catch sight of the small crowd a few blocks down. It takes me a moment of squinting to realize what it is. A punishment salt bath. Oh boy. That doesn't look great. There's a giant metal tub placed on the ground, flanked on either side by an overlook officer. And inside the tub, salt. And a person. A criminal. Each overlook officer is holding a capture pole, the wires at the end strung taut around the criminal's limbs, keeping them firmly in the salt bath. Even from this distance, I can make out patches of raw, wet flesh, areas where the criminal's skin has been played off to expose them to the salt. No doubt the salt in the bath is starting to stain red and clump together from the blood and fluids. My mouth waters a little just from the thought. These punishment salt baths serve a dual function. I think I know where this is going. On the one hand, this is a pretty good punishment, though larger crimes earn harsher punishments. First-time offenders are usually only given a salt bath. The pain of having raw flesh exposed to salt is usually enough of a deterrent to keep people from repeating their mistakes in the future. Yay! And on the other hand, the salt used in these punishments is a bit of a delicacy. Although not as prized as honey or mercury salt, the punishment salt has a savory tang to it that almost everyone enjoys. Oh boy! Just enough blood gets mixed into the salt to give it a unique flavor and take off some of the harsh edge to the original salt taste. I'll probably be seeing a bunch of punishment salt to be delivered tomorrow. Maybe I'll claim a package or 2 for myself. Everyone's talking about the eclipse after all. Maybe I can treat myself. Whoever's immersed in the salt gives a gurgling scream. Sunlight glints bright off the salt tub. Stay to watch a little longer or get back to work. You know what? This is fine. This is obviously totally cool in monster society. And this is a punishment for a criminal. Don't know what they did. but it's probably not a great idea to stick around too long watching, because, we've got work to do. As interesting as this is, I think it would be best to get back to work. I turn my attention back to the streets ahead. The officers are grunting something at the criminal, but I ignore it. Even if the smell of blood and salt in the air is tantalizing, I take 1, 2, 3 quick steps and launch into a steady trot. Still on the job, so I shouldn't lose my focus. Yeah, you don't want to get punished for lollygagging. I managed to drag my thoughts away from that salt bath by the time I reached the end of the block. I'm at the tail end of my route, and with almost nothing left in my bundle, each step feels light. I drop 2 salt packages into a delivery box before rounding the corner. Immediately, there's a unique sweetness in the air. Without thinking, I raise my head to inhale deeply. Even if I'm deeply familiar with the smell, it's still enticing. One can't help but breathe in deeper inhales around this area, and there's always a few people loitering around if they have nowhere else to be. Up ahead is the bee store. Oh, look, what cute giant bees you have. The small bone chime above the door rattles as I enter. The cages before me buzz in response. The air inside the store is already dizzyingly sweet, but the heavy scent intensifies for a moment, and I utterly lose my train of thought. Standing before the entrance, I just focus on taking in 1, 2, 3 deep breaths, each lungful making me feel more languid. Yarg, you're here, huh? It's a gruff voice sounding from further inside the store that snaps me back to attention. Hey, Nyarg! I'm your salt. Nyarg stands between 2 tall rows of cages, making notes on a scrap of paper, probably taking notes on the condition of his bees. As I make my way down the aisle, the cages around me buzz happily. Each cage contains oh God, there it is, a large fat bee. Some are shy and turn away as I walk by, but others are more personable and bumble up to the front of the cage to poke their antennae through the bars. These bars. And wiggle them at me. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Yeah. One cage contains a particularly fluffy bee that waggles its abdomen at me as I approach. I've helped bathe this one before, so it's familiar with me. When I pause before its cage to put my fingers through the bars of its cage, that's a little redundant, but not terrible. It toddles closer and ducks its head so I can rub the area behind its head, right where the bristly fur starts to sprout. I pat it a few times, rubbing my fingers in short strokes, and it hums happily in response, jittering its wings. Honey dribbles from its mandibles, leaving damp yellow spots on the padding in the cage. Hey there, hey there, you're not supposed to be wasting honey like that. Don't blame my bee for that. You're the one who made her drool. Yarg must have finished taking his notes because he's made his way down the aisle towards me. The bulk of his body towers over me, leaning over to peer into the cage where the bee is rubbing at its mandibles with its frontmost legs. My girls have had to work hard these days. You shouldn't agitate them. Oh, right, sorry. You're fine, just don't excite them too much. There's so many teeth. There's so many teeth. I thought that was an eye. And this is more teeth. It's all teeth. Oh, okay, got it. The bee continues to wash its face off, antennae flickering periodically. Because of the eclipse, huh? Yeah. Not surprising. Bees are highly prized for their honey. Everyone loves honey salt, after all. Nyarg's store sells both bees and honey. Bees are expensive, both to buy and to care for, so not many people can afford to buy one. Saving up to buy some honey for special occasions is much more doable. Maybe I can do that, actually. Since I don't have any other plans for the eclipse. Do I want honey salt or punishment salt? Hey, Nyarg. Yeah. Hmm? 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 Do you have any plans for the eclipse? No. No. Also not surprising. Nyarg is the type who largely keeps to himself. I suppose the eclipse should be nice to watch. Right? I'm doing the same thing. Maybe just take a relaxing break watching it happen. Sounds ideal. Think I should buy some honey for the occasion? I do have a few bottles left for today. Say you're considering buying some. Ask to put a bottle on hold. Jokingly ask if you can work for a discount. Uh, mm, well, you know what? I can treat myself with the eclipse. let's just, I think I like it better than the idea of the punishment salt, so let's ask to put a bottle on hold. I don't want to end up doing overtime after this, like, I mean, as pleasant as Nyar seems so far, I like, bartending, so I'm considering buying honey anyway, but maybe taking action now will help make that decision. Nyark, is there any chance I could get a bottle put on hold? I don't carry my wallet with me on my route, but I've been considering picking up a bottle since it's a special occasion. A pair of Nyark's eyes, where are they? Swivels to look at his counter, maybe considering the stock he has left. His teeth click as he opens his mouth to speak. I can do that for you. Thanks, I appreciate it. Nyark only grunts in response, but some of his lips quirk a little. I think he's pleased. I think. The bone chime on the door rattles as another customer enters, and I give Nyarg a quick wave. Gotta go, actually, but I'll see you tomorrow. Nyarg grunts again, already turning towards his new customers. Give the bees a little wave, too. They buzz back at me, the sweet scent of honey in the air intensifying in that moment. I almost stumble as I turn towards the door, inhaling deeply one last time before stepping outside. My head clears immediately. The air just outside is still sweet, but it's nothing compared to the intensity inside the store. Outside, a few people peer into the window looking at the bees on display there. It smells so good here, doesn't it? Want to go inside? Nah, I don't want to run into the owner guy. Why? What's wrong with the owner? Says I. Cube. I was about to resume my route, but I paused, pretending to adjust the fabric tied over my shoulder. Not that that's even necessary. Strangers don't pay me any attention. I heard he doesn't eat much salt. So what? But he eats something else other than salt. What? I roll my eyes a little. Nobody knows, but it's not normal to eat so little salt, you know. And my friend said he once went into the store and they saw him eating one of the bees. Gross. I've heard all that I care to hear, so I finish adjusting my pack and set off at a steady gallop. There are a few weird rumors about Nyarg floating around, and though I once interrupted some gossipy customers, Nyarg told me not to bother in the future, that he doesn't care what other people say. Still, it irks me that people bother making up these silly rumors about people just because they're different. And Nyarg is a good guy. When I get home, I'll look through my savings to make sure I have enough to buy a little bottle of honey. He seemed pleased by my promise to buy a bottle after all. Thanks, Phil. I was worried you might be late since things seem so hectic today. Our floating ball of organs is, you know, just a misunderstood kind of guy. I'm glad I didn't keep you waiting. You always work so hard, so I know I can count on you. But don't work yourself too hard, you hear? Make sure you give yourself some time off on the eclipse. I'll do that, don't you worry. I wave to the last of my customers for the day, sighing quietly as I turn the corner back onto the main street. The empty pack over my shoulders gets folded up into a little cloth bundle I can fit into my pocket. I'll drop this off tomorrow morning while I'm picking up my salt, so my work for today is done. Pardon me. Home again, home again. It's not too late when I get back home, but I feel tired nonetheless. Maybe it's the atmosphere. Though the walk back home had been uneventful, that spark in the air had still been present. It had been like trying to wade through a shallow pool of water, the energy sloughing off everyone's skin and thin sheets with each little conversation with a passerby. Everyone had seemed genuinely excited, and I was happy for them, truly. Now that I'm in my room, alone, I can't help wondering if it's really fine for me to have no plans at all for the eclipse. I open the window and lean out as I chew on a block of salt, feeling each bite sting at my gums. Outside, the two moons glow past a gossamer curtain of clouds. They infuse the night sky with a... Wait, that should be an I. Probably. Mind you, infuse inquiring... I and E words are sometimes a bit... difficult. Oh well. Gentle light, warding off the complete darkness, and I bask in the cold light as I reflect on the day's events. All of my customers had such different expectations for the eclipse. Sounded like Yeastall had something in mind. Same for Breton. Well, I guess Nyari doesn't have any plans, but he has to work hard leading up to the eclipse, so he'll probably be, tired as fuck. I finish my salt, dusting my hands off outside, and close the window as I retreat back into my room. Well, I guess it's kind of late to be making any big decisions anyway. Maybe next year I can find something to do for the eclipse. Sweetie, once a century, remember? Okay. It's a little early to be sleeping, but the day's been weirdly exhausting, and I can feel sleep rolling in like a blanket of fog, steadily clouding through my head. Um, this is probably a good place to leave this now. This is the demo, but it's still a pretty meaty chunk of progression here. We've met our 3 love interests, and it will be interesting, to see who you can choose, how they play out, who's who. We got a little feel for each of their personalities and our interactions with them, how well the main character knows them, and the sort of choices you have are already pretty interesting. Um, I assume there will be a lot more choices. It'd be nice to know if it's like a one and done kind of thing, or if you can make all of them love you, or monogamous monsters, or not so monogamous monsters. How did monsters feel about not so monogamous? But yeah, and it's nice setting up world building as well. There's a cute setting. Well, cute. Unique. Let's say unique setting. And we're getting lots of flavor for it in just the first day that we spent. And I will probably come back to this again when it's more of a beta, or like when it gets more developed and stuff. And maybe I'll play some more of the demo as well, but I don't know. But yeah, this is a really cute game, fun game, interesting. It's a bit different from the other sort of dating sims that are out at the moment. It's a bit spooky monsters, and you know, just I like the artwork is really nice, and it's up on itch.io, as they said, and on their Tumblr. Look it up, support it, and if it looks like your kind of thing, that would be really cool. Because I'm enjoying playing it. It's like a little visual novel. Yeah, I think it's fun. And yeah, awesome. Okay, see you around. See you next time, Internet. Bye!